Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Are you among those who believe in the existence of aliens? With the astonishing 100 billion planets populating our vast galaxy, could there conceivably be forms of life resembling those we are familiar with on Earth? For the entire scientific community, this hypothesis is actually not entirely far-fetched. Come on, let's go for a brief, intriguing journey into the world of aliens. On the 1st of July, 1965, did aliens actually land in Valençol, a small village in the south of France? Maurice Mass, a farmer from the village, is convinced of it. That day, as with every morning, he heads out to his lavender field. It's 6 o'clock, the weather is quite fine. Simply put, for Maurice, it's just routine. Well, that's what he thinks. As he's about to start weeding, he hears an unusual noise, a sort of very high-pitched whistling. Surprised, he looks around, and he spots something roughly 60 meters away, a metallic object that he mistakes for a car. Inside, the farmer has the impression to see two occupants. He approaches. He is about only 10 meters away when he realizes that what he thought was a car is actually a flying saucer resting on its 6 legs. As for the two passengers, they look quite strange. The farmer can't believe his eyes. He really wants to run away, but he doesn't have time to react. And one of the two creatures points at him, a cylindrical object, which he takes for a gun. At that moment, he faints. As he regains consciousness, he looks everywhere around him. The saucer is no longer there. And well, to prove his good faith, he then invites police officers over and shows them a basin measuring about 1.20 meters in diameter with, at the center, a hole about 40 centimeters deep. What's even stranger, along a path of about 100 meters, the police officers note that the lavender plants are scorched. The idea of a hoax is dismissed. The farmer is known for his seriousness and integrity. He doesn't drink alcohol and he's not known to be a liar. However, without material evidence, the police officer's report suggests a hallucination or optical illusion. In 1965, the Valençol mystery made a lot of noise. It was on the front page of all the newspapers. And then, after a few weeks, it was forgotten. Until 2005, when the Group for Study and Information on Unidentified Aerospace Objects, known as GAIPAN, decided to reopen the investigation. Questioned again, Mass does not change his version of the events. Finally, the GAIPAN categorizes the case among aerospace phenomena of type D, meaning unexplainable despite the precision of the testimonies and the quality of the material elements collected. Every year, hundreds of such phenomena are reported to this organization. Just in 2021, its director declared having received 600 testimonies from people claiming to have seen flying saucers or UFOs. But no proof of alien origin of these phenomena has ever been provided. Yet in France, 1 in 10 people remains firmly convinced of the existence of a form of intelligent life elsewhere than on Earth in the universe. People who claim to have seen aliens almost always describe remarkably the same thing. 2 legs, arms, hands, not 5, but only 4 fingers. A head. The head is a bit bigger. And finally, huge eyes. Wait, you've forgotten something. Martians are actually green. That's an old misconception. Aliens, if they exist, don't come from Mars. So far, we've found no trace of life on the red planet. As for the green color, we owe that to 2 successful novels published in the first half of the 20th century. The first one, which came out in 1912, is titled A Princess of Mars. It describes various Martian species, one with green skin. The second was published in 1946. It was written by an author named Harold Sherman. The Green Man, Visitors from Space. Well, if they're not green, what color are they? Well, those who claim to have seen them declare they are gray. American couple Betty and Barney Hills first described them this way. On the night of September 19th to 20, 1961, they claim to have been abducted on a New Hampshire road by small, bald, gray-colored creatures. At the time, the case made a lot of noise, and journalists took the opportunity to ironically nickname them the Little Grays. Since then, many people around the world also claim to have met them, but without ever providing any proof of their existence. No photo, no video. I have seen one of them. On TV? Roswell. Oh, Roswell. In 1995, a black and white film presented as authentic was broadcast by television channels in 27 countries, including the USA and France. It shows the autopsy of an alien with humanoid's features. It resembles a little gray as closely as two peas in a pod. It was supposedly recovered by the American military in 1947 following the crash of its flying saucer on a ranch near the town of Roswell, New Mexico, and many people believe it. Finally, we have proof. Except that it's a huge hoax. The alien in question, it's just a vulgar rubber dummy made by a British sculptor. The hoax was eventually revealed 10 years after the film's release. It had been orchestrated by a certain Ray Santilli, an unscrupulous British producer. The sale of the film still earned him the equivalent of 7 million euros. So what should we think about it? Do aliens really exist? Science does not formally rule out the existence of other intelligent life forms in the universe. But for now, the priority is rather to find simple life forms. Microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi. They constitute 95 to 96% of life on Earth. However, for this life to evolve and prosper, the planet that welcomes it must meet a certain number of essential conditions. It has to be a telluric planet, or in other words, a planet like Earth, primarily made up of rocks and metals. A solid planet, therefore, as opposed to gas giants. But that's not enough. It must also harbor liquid water, because without this element, it seems, no organism can develop or survive. But to find liquid water, the planet must be at the right distance from its sun. And here we are talking about the habitable zone. If the planet is too far away, the surface temperature is too low for water to remain liquid. Conversely, if it's too close, the temperature is too high, water evaporates, and no life can develop. The presence of liquid water also promotes the formation of a protective atmosphere around the planet. On Earth, it protects us from ultraviolet solar radiation and reduces temperature variations between day and night. Finally, this planet must produce a magnetic field. It acts as a shield, deflecting cosmic radiation and solar winds whose particles can be deadly. Apart from Earth, within the solar system, no other planet satisfies these life-sustaining conditions. Okay, but further away outside the solar system, have we found nothing either? On October 6, 1995, two astronomers from the University of Geneva, Michel Mayor and Didier Queloz, made an extraordinary discovery. While observing the constellation of Pegasus, for the first time, they have successfully located a planet situated outside the solar system, which is called an exoplanet, named 51 Pegasi b, and it is located about 50 light-years from Earth. Currently, of the 5,000 cataloged exoplanets, only about 40 actually meet the necessary conditions for life to develop successfully. What are we waiting for to go check them out? Well, it's actually very difficult to get there. Because of the distance, the potentially habitable exoplanet closest to the solar system, Proxima Centauri b, which was discovered in 2016, is located approximately 4.3 light-years from Earth. On the scale of the universe, it's next door. But on our scale, it's huge, more than 100 million times the Earth-Moon distance. It would take about 80,000 years to get there. Traveling at 60,000 kilometers per hour, the speed of the Voyager 1 probe launched in 1977. So we'll never know, right? Maybe we will. Scientists haven't given up on the idea of finding traces of life, even rudimentary, on extrasolar planets. For that, they have powerful instruments at their disposal, like the James Webb Space Telescope, capable of analyzing their atmosphere and detecting biosignatures, that is, traces that can only emanate from living beings. Certain gases, for example, methane. The amount of oxygen and the presence of water molecules can also be an indicator of a potential presence of microbial life, and perhaps even of intelligent life forms. In 1950, Nobel Prize-winning physicist Enrico Fermi expressed serious doubts on this matter. During a meal with fellow physicists, he stated, "If intelligent life truly exists in our galaxy, we should have already encountered it." This theory is known as the Fermi paradox. Considering that the solar system is still very young on the scale of the universe, 4.5 billion years versus 13.8 billion years for the universe, an older and more technologically advanced civilization should have already made contact with us. Fermi suggested that it would have taken only a few million years to visit a major part of our galaxy, all while traveling at only 1% of the speed of light. Conclusion: we might be alone in the universe. This deduction, however, has not stopped some scientists from trying to make contact with possible intelligent life forms. For 50 years, the human species has sent about 20 messages into space. The first one left on November 16, 1974, from Puerto Rico to the Great Clusters of Hercules, which is 22,000 light-years from Earth. If an extraterrestrial civilization is hiding there, it will only receive this message in a bottle, or in space, 22,000 years later. And it's going to take 22,000 years as well to receive a response. In the meantime, water will have passed under the bridge, and most likely, I will no longer be around to discuss it with you. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it won't keep you from sleeping well. On the contrary, maybe, that you will gaze at the night sky and its stars with even more profound curiosity. Or even better, let it spark some hope. If this subject interests you, I would strongly recommend that you watch, or even rewatch, a movie that offers you another perspective on aliens. And it's one of my all-time favorites, Contact, directed by Robert Zemeckis. And I really hope that you'll genuinely have a great time. And if you happen to be an alien and you're curious about where you're setting foot, the documentary, The Odyssey of Species. In the meantime, feel free to like and to subscribe. See you very soon.